Some scary statistics were just released showing just how reliant we are on the government for our financial needs in the form of income and cash equivalents. I have all the details and the full breakdown for you here in the video, as well as all the numbers you need to know. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. First off, can I ask a huge favor of you? Please make sure to like the video with the big thumbs up button right down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Also, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well with the big subscribe button, again, right down below the video. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it, and let's get into it and talk about it. All right, so the new reports and statistics were released showing that we are more reliant than ever right now on government-sponsored programs for income and cash equivalents. Now, this is actually very interesting because I think a lot of us recognize that these government programs out there actually do form a lot of income for a lot of different people. In fact, some people that receive fixed income benefits rely on their fixed income benefit for all of their monthly income. So I want to bring these statistics to your attention just so we can see what is really going on and compare it to history as well. Now, at the same time, the report comes out to show like, yeah, we do actually rely on a huge percentage of our income from the government. But at the same time, too, we also have to recognize that a lot more people right now are becoming age where they start receiving Social Security and Medicare and things like this. So we kind of have to look at the shift in population as well to why these numbers have increased so much. So again, at the same time, you kind of got to look at both sides of the story here, because we can't look at it just one side and be like, well, we're more reliant. Well, yeah, because it's a shift in our population and aging as well. So kind of makes sense, right? But anyway, let me share this with you. So as of just a couple years ago, 2022, which is, by the way, this is the most recent report that's out, even though we are here in the end of 2024 as I film this video, but this is the most recent information. But as of just recently, we are now relying on government-funded programs for 17.6% of our overall income. The average person out there, by the way, this is not like just a small group of people. On average, the average American right now is relying on the government-funded programs for 17.6% of their overall income. That's, nearly a fifth of our monthly or just annual income is coming from these different programs. Now, to put this into perspective, back in the 70s, this was sitting at 8%. So it's literally gone up more than 100%, right? It's more than doubled since the 70s, which obviously is over 50 years ago as well. So, that's a long time, 50 plus years, and it's more than doubled. So just want to put that in perspective. Now, they also found that in 2022, these government programs sent out the equivalent of $3.8 trillion in the form of cash, income, cash equivalents, things like this, to millions and millions of people. So it's kind of a lot of money, $3.8 trillion when you look at it that way. And again, that's as of 2022. Now, obviously, here we are again in the end of 2024 as I film this video right now. But that's, I'm guessing that's probably eclipsed $4 trillion as of now. So that's still just a lot of money that's going out in the form of all these different things. Now, they also found from these studies as well that 56% of that money that went out in 2022, the $3.8 trillion, that 56% of it went out in the form of Social Security and Medicare. And again, this is what I want to highlight really quickly is yes, okay, it makes it look like, wow, 56% went out in the form of Social Security and Medicare. Well, yeah, but also realize there's significantly more beneficiaries right now receiving these benefits than back in the 70s. I'm going to be fair with you. I don't know how many people back in the 70s were receiving Social Security and enrolled in Medicare, but I do know this much. 11,000 people a day right now are becoming eligible for Social Security every single day, and this will continue through 2027. Now, historically, over the last several years here, about 10,000 people a day were becoming eligible for Social Security. So we're kind of in a phase right now where a lot of baby boomers and, this generation are becoming eligible for these programs. So yeah, we're seeing a huge number of people, millions and millions of people every single year that are becoming eligible for this. So it kind of skews the numbers a little bit and makes it look like, oh wow, we're like really reliant on government programs. It's actually because in the 70s, the baby boom generation, which was the largest at the time, was not eligible for Social Security at that time because it was, 50 some years ago. But now, this generation, the largest, well, it was the largest at the time, now becoming eligible for Social Security and Medicare, now makes it look like, oh, wow, we're really reliant on government funding. Yes and no. Again, that's why I said earlier, you got to look at the big picture here because it kind of skews the numbers. It makes it look, worse than it really is. But at the end of the day, there's a ton of different government programs out there, and we recognize as well that, yeah, a lot of people are drawing on these, and that's okay. If the program wasn't meant to be drawn on, then what's the point of the program, right? I mean, seriously, if people are not eligible to receive the benefits and it's not there set aside for people to draw on at some point, then why is the program existing? Kind of get what I'm saying here, right? So anyway, let's roll on to some other details here. So they also went on to find that in the 70s, actually in 1970, that what they consider a considerable amount of income is basically a quarter of somebody's income or greater. Well, in 1970, this was in less than 1% of counties across the entire country. There's thousands of counties across the entire country. Well, in 2000, the year 2000, so what, 24 years ago now, that edged up to 10%. And as of most recently, 2022, it's increased even more than that. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, so we can continue to see that it's just basically the baby boom generation. We're kind of tracking them, kind of going through history and going through time, which is kind of what this is relating to, right? So, I mean, if you just look at the real numbers here, that's kind of what this is all about, and kind of showing that, yes, the baby boom generation is kind of there where we're all, kind of starting to get these benefits now, and that's totally fine. That's what the programs are here for. That's the whole purpose of these programs. So at the end of the day, though, it is interesting to see this. Now, I want to point this out as well. And some people may agree with this, some people may disagree, but it is just kind of something that I've read about and something that I want to throw out there as well, is that, okay, the more that we rely on these government-funded programs, does that kind of mean that they, kind of control us a little bit more? And again, I'm not going to jump down some conspiracy theory, saying like, oh, they have 100% of control of us. But I mean, that's just kind of how it is, right? The more we rely on something, the more that person, that, group, that entity, whatever it happens to be, has more control over us, right? So again, just kind of want to throw that out there. Just something to think about is that the more that we rely on these programs, and it's totally fine if we do, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. That's why the programs exist. But they kind of have, we're kind of like their clay, like their art project, right? We're kind of like their big, ball of clay that they can mold in any way that they want, because they kind of have the upper hand when it comes to our income, things like that. If they basically say, hey, we're drawing the line here and we're going to make the rules here, we kind of need to conform to that to some degree. You kind of know what I mean by that? So I don't know. Just kind of interesting to look at these statistics. I find it to be fascinating. Maybe you don't, but I like to look through these numbers here because I just like to know what's going on. It's interesting to watch all the different generations kind of work their way through. It's interesting to watch the different shifts in the overall economy and just different programs that pop up and go away, and how different segments of the population work their way through these different government programs, as well as just everything else out there. I find it to be super fascinating, and I don't know, maybe you do too, maybe not, I don't know. It's just interesting to watch all this whole thing play out, because it just kind of gives us a better glimpse into the overall big picture, like what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the longevity of some of these programs, what can we foresee at some point in the future as a result of these statistics, right? I don't know. It kind of just paints a picture. It gives us a better glimpse into what we're kind of seeing right now, as well as maybe starting to connect the dots looking forward into the future, like, hey, we may foresee X, Y, or Z happening. We may foresee something because of, this, that, or the other thing. Does that kind of make sense, right? So again, not here to say like this is good or bad. I'm just saying this is just the report, and I wanted to share it with you. I don't know. I thought it was very interesting, considering where we came from, 50 plus years ago, back in the early 70s, what they're comparing this to. But again, at the same time, we also have to remember that's 54 years ago. It's a long time. I mean, a lot changes in 54 years, right? So anyway, hope this helps you. As always, please make sure to like the video down below. Big thumbs up button. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Otherwise, subscribe as well. Totally free to do so. Big subscribe button down below. Again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Otherwise, check out the other videos here on the channel. The thousands in the video library, about 5,000 videos there. Check those out. Otherwise, right now showing up on your screen, you'll see some videos there. And down below in the description or the top of the comment section, you'll see some videos popping up there. Again, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you. Have a nice day. Just want to do whatever I can to keep you informed of what's going on, and anything popping up right now you can possibly grab or take advantage of. Have a nice day.